Welcome to Insights into Insurance with Tom Sorensen of Americana Insurance Group. All information provided is educational in nature and not intended to be acted upon without first consulting the appropriately licensed professional.
It's Saturday morning here on KATE, and good morning to you. And now joining us on the phone for Insights into Insurance with Tom Sorensen from Americana Insurance is Tom Sorensen. And Tom, it sounds like you're going to go to classes to better help your customers. Is this true?
That is true. Actually, I'm in the middle of doing that right now. I'm on probably about a 15-minute break. It's classes, they call it a Ruble seminar, which is for my CIC certification, which is Certified Insurance Counselor certification. And so every year I got to sit through 2 days of basically extreme complex insurance issues, and that we go through and talk about and discuss.
Now, Tom, that's kind of a mouthful of what's going on where you are, but what would you like to talk about today?
Well, as I'm sitting here, I'm at my hotel, and I'm sitting right next to a pool, so maybe I would rather talk about going into the pool.
That'd be nice.
I suppose that's not what people want to hear about today, but actually, I've received some questions about from listeners on many different insurance situations, and I thought, you know what, I've got some stories or things that I can talk about, things that I have had happen or experienced in my years of service, and so I thought, well, let's talk about that. And one of them is, and it was a topic that Jolene talked to you last week about, was, the estate planning and that. Well, along with that estate planning, there is some issues that some people go and do this, and they normally do it because they own a farm, or they're business people, or they're people with, some fairly sizable assets. Well, they go to an attorney which does the estate planning, which is for estate planning services. Like they set up entities with that estate planning, okay, like trusts or corporations like an LLC. And some of those reasons Jolene talked about, it's protection of assets to minimize tax implications, to pass the farm from farm or business or assets to the next generation or the spouse, which are often awesome things to do, right?
Yeah.
But when they do that, a lot of times, and if they aren't working through us and that, they'll be working directly with their attorney a lot of times. Do you know who they forget to contact?
I'm going to guess they probably forget to contact someone like you, Tom.
Exactly. So insurance is a key ingredient for protection of those assets. So don't you think we would be one of their first phone calls? And a lot of times we're not. Or we're not. You know how we find out is by meeting some of our clients. We usually do client meetings, annually or every couple years or whatever, and we find out that they did this a year ago or 2 years ago, and so it puts us in a tough predicament. Not at that time, but it could have put us in a tough predicament if they were to have a loss during that period of time. So basically what has happened, and we've had this happen many, many times where people have not made that call and they've been under the assumption that they're covered. Well, those properties that they are trying to protect are those assets, which could be, land or tangible assets like buildings or homes or whatever. Part of that estate planning is, again, changing and creating trust or LLCs or things like that, and they change the ownership into those items. So, like, land is changed into a trust or potentially LLC, or farm operation into an LLC, things like that. Well, if there were to be an issue that would happen, they might find themselves without insurance because still on their insurance policy, they still might have themselves named as insurance.
Makes a lot of sense. That was one of the first things we talked about, Tom, is how do you protect your businesses? And if you're going from an individual to basically incorporating or making a trust, you want to make sure that's got the right coverage.
Right. And just so you know, I know I talk farm a lot, but this isn't just farm. This could be any business or even any individual that's done this and set up trusts. So the deal is we can create correct coverage for these situations, and normally it's no charge. So as long as we are aware of them, the key is we need to be aware of them, and it's really usually not too difficult to be able to make sure that all the entities are covered, including the corporation or the trust and the individual. So that is one thing that we have experienced a lot of, where the people go and do this, and they do this with their attorney, but for some reason we get left out of the loop, and we're one of the main instruments to protect those assets. So that's one of the deals. So I got a couple more here, but so do you have any more questions on that, Paul, or think of anything there that you can think of that you would like to ask on that?
Well, yeah, if it's all right with you, Tom. So is that why you've teamed up with Greenhaven, so you're in on the loop there when people do these types of estate planning?
Right. Jolene and I, we work together with Greenhaven Marketing and us. We work together on quarterbacking the whole estate planning or farm succession planning. We're more of farm succession transition planning, which then entails the estate planning, but the estate planning is about fifth in the line when we finally get to that. But then we find attorneys for our clients, or a lot of times our clients already have attorneys, and we communicate with those attorneys of what's going on, what are the wishes, and we also have attorneys down at Nationwide that look over these plans too and make sure that they fit together right. And then we actually talk to the accountants and things like that to make sure. There's a lot of pieces to this, so we need to make sure that all the pieces can fit together so that all the things that they're trying to accomplish can be accomplished.
We'll be right back with more from Tom Sorensen from Americana Insurance in just 30 seconds. This is Insights into Insurance with Tom Sorensen from Americana Insurance.
A while back at Americana Insurance, we had a question. Should we dress in coats and ties or just dress normal? People in ties are usually smart, professional, and with it. On the other hand, they can be a little intimidating. Eventually, we decided we'd just dress regular and let our service, dedication, and experience speak for itself. Americana Insurance. Business, farm, home, life, and auto. Give us a call at 377-2000 or just stop by. Americana Insurance. Smart enough to wear a suit, down to earth enough not to.
Talking today with Tom Sorensen from Americana Insurance here on Insights into Insurance. Tom, of course, is out this weekend on the road bettering himself so he can better serve you, his customers at Americana Insurance. Tom, we're kind of talking today about some personal anecdotes or personal stories when it comes to dealing with different insurance, maybe not necessarily problems, but questions. We just talked a little bit about estate planning and succession planning there. Tom, what are some other things that a lot of people have been asking you about recently?
Well, there's a lot of things, and a lot of it has to do with who owns what. And so I'm going to give you an example that we had here, a situation that happened a couple of years ago, where I'm going to call this individual for the protection of the innocent, Farmer Jones, okay? Farmer Jones is an insured of mine, and Farmer Jones and his father farm together, but they have separate farming. They farm land, and they keep their grain separate, but a lot of times they will call themselves Jones Farms. Okay, it's not an official entity. It's just a name. Okay, almost like a DBA, doing business as, but it's not even that. It's basically Jones Farm. It's just a name that they call themselves. Okay.
Sure.
Well, so the Farmer Jones has a semi tractor that breaks down. Now, just to let you know, this is a pretty sizable farm. Okay. Well, so with the large farm, so what do they need? It's harvest time. They're using their semi tractor and trailer to haul grain and get it out of the fields. Well, this semi tractor, which is one of many that they have, but they still need another semi tractor, so they go out and lease a short-term, have a short-term lease on a new semi tractor.
Okay.
Okay. Remember, it's harvest time. It's busy, a lot going on, and so they have this new lease semi tractor. Well, guess what? The driver has an accident. He runs a stop sign and broadsides a pickup and trailer. It's a little pickup and trailer that they have, and the driver goes across runs the stop sign, and runs into this vehicle. Okay, causes some, well, obviously property damage and injury. Okay, so Paul, do you think it was covered?
I'm going to have to say it was not covered.
Yeah, well, that's a good question. It very easily could have been not covered, okay? But it was.
Really?
Why? Yeah. Why? Because I had an endorsement to Farmer Jones policy that would automatically have insurance on a replacement vehicle of another insured vehicle. So because the vehicle that was in repair shop was an insured vehicle, and this other vehicle was to replace that vehicle. In the meantime, there was coverage. Now, that would not be typical of a normal business auto or farm auto policy. Okay, it's something that we endorse most of the time on our fleet policies for our farms. So just a warning there, if anybody's listening, as we always give our disclosure, please talk to your own insurance agent, or even if I'm your insurance agent and you need to find out, well, do I have that coverage? Please give us a call.
And that's always important, because we're just talking in generalities, and right now you're talking about a certain thing that happened that was one of your clients, and you're already taking care of it, but they need to talk with you or their insurance agent about doing something like that.
Right, absolutely. So that was a hurdle that was jumped and cleared, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But guess what?
What?
Through investigation by the insurance company, the name on the lease paperwork was put into a different name. Remember when I talked to you about Jones's Farms?
Yes.
Okay. It's not an entity. It's nothing. Okay. The dealership, or the place that had the semi-tractor, wrote the bill of sale or the lease agreement in Jones's Farms name. Okay. Well, the individual that was leasing it is an individual. Okay. He doesn't have an entity set up. So it should have been, let's just say, Farmer Jones's name, not Jones's Farms. Okay?
Yep.
It's just a name. Jones's Farm is just a name. Well, through the insurance company investigation, the insurance company we represent came to the determination that they would still cover the loss. Whew. Wow. That was a pretty nervous time. Okay.
Oh, I can believe that.
I'll be honest with you, the insurance company had every right to probably deny the claim, okay, because of that. I know that sounds really bad, but they truthfully could have probably done it, but through the investigation, they felt that they should treat their insured that it's covered, okay? And to be honest, that happened in, I believe it was the fall of I think 2014, and it still is out there and potentially has a liability suit there. So, okay. So just so you know, a lot of times these things, when they happen, they don't get done in a week or two. It can be years.
All can kind of drag out there, right, Tom?
Yeah, they can.
Now, Tom, we are getting tight on time here on Insights into Insurance with Tom Sorensen from Americana Insurance. Tom, you're on the road. I know people were asking me this week, Tom. They wanted to know how your Ag conference went.
It went terrific. We had some great presenters, and we had some really good attendance. And Jolene, was part of her optional. Your guest from last week. She had an optional program to come after I fed everybody. A lot of times once you feed them, they want to leave. But she ended up having a tremendous attendance also afterwards, the biggest that we've ever had as far as for her program. So it was awesome. We had everything from crop insurance topics to grain marketing presentation, and then land rent presentation, which was a pretty big hot topic, main event I would call it. So it went great.
Excellent. Tom, if people have questions, how can they reach Americana Insurance? At
507-377-2000, or if they want to contact me by email or ask me questions for the show, it's insights@americanainsurance.com.
Tom Sorensen from Americana Insurance, and right here on Insights into Insurance here on KATE. Tom, we'll talk same time next week.
All right, Paul, you have a great week.
You too. Learn something new for me, would you?
I already have. I think my brain is mush.
You've been listening to Insights into Insurance from Americana Insurance Group. All information provided is intended to be educational in nature. Before acting upon any information obtained during the Insights into Insurance radio show broadcast, consult an appropriately licensed professional.